Like this video to support. Join our YouTube family now and never miss out on epic content, entertainment, and surprises. Hit that subscribe button. Let's start. Spoiler alert.
The picture begins in a residence where a man and a woman are heard arguing but only seen by their shadows. An adolescent girl arrives and responds to the sound of a harsh bird cry, causing her body to tremble while everything around her echoes and reverberates. The girl flees in the woods. A man calls another man and reports the girl's disappearance. The second man claims that the following subjects will be simpler to handle. Gretchen, a teen, is moving with her father, Louis, and his new wife, Bert, in their Bavarian Alps residence. Following her mother's death, Gretchen has a silent half-sister named Alma, whom she refuses to identify as anything other than her daughter's daughter. Dr. Kong, the host of the local hotel, greets the family and offers Gretchen a position there. Gretchen also meets Kong's chief on staff, Dr. Bonomo. Gretchen is advised to spend time with Alma. Gretchen jams out while Alma attempts to emulate her air guitar antics. The mystery bird cry is heard once more, sharp and piercing. It leads Alma to have a seizure while also making Gretchen repeat the last few seconds till Alma scratches Gretchen's face. The ruckus ends. Louis and Beth enter to see Alma. Gretchen begins working at a hotel alongside a lady named Beatrix, whose boyfriend, a cop, Eric, is also present to assist. Gretchen witnesses an anonymous lady vomiting in the lobby before her husband attends to her. Later, Gretchen encounters a lady called Ed who comes in to beg for a room and purchases a six-pack of a beer. The two later observe that the same woman as before, vomiting up again before sipping something and quietly going away. Gretchen prepared to ride her bike back home after work despite Kong's warning that it was dangerous to do alone at the time and even offering to pick her up. As she walks through the woods, she discovers a weird hooded woman is after her. Gretchen goes into the station to seek assistance but unintentionally bangs her head against the glass, resulting in a nasty cut. The lady vanishes and Gretchen's allegation to Eric is discounted as a hoax. The next day, Gretchen is contacted by a man named Henry at the resort. He claims to be detective working of a murder case involving the same lady Gretchen observed the night before. Gretchen is greeted by Ed again. The two walk outside to make out while smoking a cigarette. They resolve to go Paris together, but Gretchen becomes trapped in a time loop when shrieking bird cry is heard again. The hooked woman arrives on the road, prompting Ed to serve and smash his automobile before attempting to approach Gren. Lady takes Ed out and throws her aside. Gretchen awakens in a resort under medical care. After meeting her father and Beth, Henry greets her again. He claims that the lady was maybe involved in the death of his wife as well as another woman in the neighborhood, the vomiting woman from the earlier. The spouse is discovered the victim's dead from vomit. Gretchen joins Henry once again. She's permitted to leave her and they stake out of Lover's Lounge, the same suit when the woman and her husband stayed. Trixie and Eric want to enjoy a secret romantic evening in the suit while he is fetching something for her. The bird calls again. Eric is caught in the time loop. The hooded woman enters and scares Trixie before she passes out. The lady tries to insert some type of goo into her. Gretchen and Henry enter the suit after lady flees, turning Trixie on her side so she would not choke her to death. Gretchen meets Louis. The next morning, she confronts him about what is happening at the resort and how Kong was involved in some dirty activity. Kong then reveals a package that had been delivered to the residence. It contains all the Gretchen's mother's stuff. Thus causes Louis to acknowledge that she sold her previous home, which enrages Gretchen. Kong then stands by the window and plays a flute, inciting another shrieking bird call. While Gretchen goes to listen to her mother's answering machine, where she had been left a message to hear her voice, she hears what appears to be text-to-speech message from Alma, who encourages Gretchen's mother to come to make Gretchen happy. Gretchen exits her room, discovering that her family has left. Kong claims Alma had a seizure and was transported to the hospital. He says he'll take care of Gretchen to the nearest train station and she joins him. Instead, she is transported to Kong's house where Eric is keeping Henry as hostage. Kong informs Gretchen that Henry was just fired from his detective position for investigating a case in which he was engaged. Kong then sprays pheromones in Gretchen's face and locks her in the pool house. Gretchen attempts to break free, but the bird calls out. trapping her in the time cycle. Again, she is then rendered unconscious by the same adolescent girl from before. Coing then on a reveal his entire experiment. The hooded woman is a member of the centuries-old inhuman species that impregnates her other woman with its young, enabling to be nurtured by humans until it rejoins its kind. Similarly to cuckoo birds, this is also true for Alma, who is hooded woman's daughter. Although Beth is simply employed as a surrogate, the adolescent cuckoo attempts to impregnate Gretchen, but Henry grabs a rifle, shoots Kong and the young lady before releasing Gretchen. Gretchen and Henry travel to hospital where Dr. Bonomo is in charge of the experiment to reconnect Alma with the primary cuckoo mother, the hooded woman. Beth claims she doesn't feel well and is taken away with Louise, who survived the gunfire, turns up and murders Bonomo and her helper. She plans to complete the experiment herself while Henry prevents Gretchen from saving Alma, believing she is a monster who must be murdered. Gretchen stabs Henry with her butterfly knife to free herself and save her sister. Gretchen frees Alma, but she pushes Gretchen away and flees. The cuckoo mother appears and follows Gretchen as she pursues Alma. The thing catches Gretchen through the records room until Henry limps in and knocks over the bookcases. The mother sees Gretchen but is stabbed in the throat and bleeds out. Alma runs but is almost trapped in a gunfight between Henry and Kyung. Gretchen communicates with Alma by bringing up the message she heard and stating that her mother said thank you. The two ultimately unite as sister. Gretchen attempts to lead Alma away but Koing shoots at her. She flees as he reloads, but Henry remains determined to murder Alma. The girl puts out a veil identical to the mother, confusing the two men long enough for Gretchen and Alma to escape. Koing and Henry then shot each other to death simultaneously. The girls exit the facility and discover Ed waiting outside. Having fled the hospital, she drives Gretchen and Alma far from resort.
Please make sure that you like, follow, and subscribe to our channel. Check out the other videos if you watched this video all the way through. Cheers.